Okay, beautiful. So, welcome everybody to AI and clinical practice. So, I'm going to just start off with introducing myself because I think our community has grown so far that a lot of people some of you guys know me from the community, from other workshops. Some of you know me from other contexts and groups that we're part of. But for a lot of people on the group, I'm probably just a name behind some posts and some messages and things like that. So, who am I, right? Um, my background, firstly, Munir, I'm a counseling psychologist. I qualified and started work late 2020. And, with the trauma of masters and internship, I decided to reward myself with going into private practice, which I later learned was a trauma response, because any of you guys know what that transition is like. It was probably one of the hardest things I had ever done to start straight away into private practice because very quickly you learn. I don't know, any of you guys there trying to navigate registering with BHF, getting onto medical aids, figuring out consent forms, booking systems, finding offices, all of these crazy things, right? It's a nightmare. And very quickly we learn that, in master's internship, they don't teach you how to run a practice. They don't teach you how to run a business. And the first time you sit down with your first private client, you realize that as much as they try, they don't really teach you how to be a psychologist either, because you figure that out as you go on. And so it was actually a really, really difficult time. But I was very blessed to be part of some amazing professional groups and to have some really amazing mentors. I think some of you are familiar with the impact community and some other mentors from internship and other spaces. And they really helped me a lot to make that transition and to get myself into private practice. And I've certainly found my feet in private practice. And obviously, the question we all then go through is, it gets a bit tiring here, and it gets a bit lonely. And we're trying to say, how can we scale our practice? How can we make it a little bit easier? And how can we get more grow our practice as well? And so in 2022, I started doing public and corporate workshops as a means of scaling my practice. And in that process, I learned two things. Firstly, that people are actually willing to listen when I talk, which is something that takes you a bit by surprise sometimes. And secondly, that I actually really enjoyed learning and teaching and sharing about all of these things. Um, and as I continued this process of learning, developing my own business identity, by 2023, I was running an a virtual practice, working with expats, professionals, couples, and Muslim clients in more than 12 countries around the world. And people started asking me, well, how do you do this? And what I realized is that a lot of our professionals, the old saying, we became healthcare professionals because we wanted to help people, not because we wanted to be businessmen and entrepreneurs and things like that. And so I realized that a lot of people were struggling with, things like technology, things like practice management, things like productivity systems, things like business. And so as part of the thing, I realized that those are things that I really enjoy. I love psychology, I love technology, I love business, and I love sharing about it. And so in 2024, I launched my first CPD course. And very soon after that, we got onto the AI hype, and we started the AI clinical practice community at the start of this year, 2025. Right. So why am I sharing all of these things with you guys? When I don't know if you all have ever had this experience, when you join like one of these communities or these online groups or something like that, and you kind of like, you're there and you're just observing everything from the side. And one day you log in, 2 days you log in, and then you forget about it. And a week later you come back and there's 100 messages. And it's kind of this very distant relationship, right? Why? Because the community is kind of abstract. We don't really know what exactly is involved, who is behind this community, what are the people inside of it. And for me, when created this space, what I wanted to is I wanted to create a space that's psychologically safe, a learning environment that people feel part of and they feel that they belong to. And the important factors for that is there has to be clarity, there has to be connection, and there has to be congruence in that space in order for people to feel safe in it, in order for people to feel invested in it. And so that's why I'm showing you these things and telling you about this. And basically, that's the reason for this entire talk, is so that you all feel on the same page of where this community came from, where it's going, and what it is all about, and that you'll identify and value that as much as I do. Right? So this community itself, AI in clinical practice, where did it come from? It actually came from one simple question. In 2023, I started learning about AI, hearing all these fancy things about AI, and I asked myself, how can I use AI as a healthcare professional? What's the practical things that I can do with it? And what are the things that I'm allowed to do with it? And so, like a good HPCSA practitioner, I went and looked up CPD courses because I've got deadlines to meet and points to keep. And at that point, I realized there wasn't any trainings available for healthcare professionals on AI in South Africa, and there was virtually none available internationally. This is in 2023. There were a very few, but they tended to be expensive, they tended to be hard to access, and they tended to be quite, what's the word? They're quite broad or quite technical. And they didn't really translate very easily to me as a sole practitioner who wanted to know, can I use this thing called ChatGPT in my practice? And so what I did is I think I shared the story with many of you all before. It was a process of me learning, going out, trying and getting my hands on all the information I can, reaching out to HPCSA, different bodies, figuring out the different regulations and things like that to figure out, well, how can I start using and applying AI? And similar to what happened earlier, the second I did that, people started asking me, well, how do you do that? We also want to do it. And so in 2024, we ran our first AI workshop. I think a couple of you guys were there. Give me a thumbs up if you were there for our first one. We had 25 attendees in our first workshop. And now more than, yeah, I knew it. I knew it. Beautiful, beautiful. And now more than a dozen workshops later, we've got more than 800 members across our different, attending different courses and things like that. And I stand to be corrected, but I'm very excited. I think we are the first and the largest AI community for health professionals in Africa. So give a celebration to you guys for being part of something really incredible. And it's actually it's so amazing because what happens now is that I can go to all of these big people, these fancy people like Heidi and HPCSA and Discovery and tell them, you know what, we've got 800 members. We need you to do this. And all of a sudden they're like, oh, 800, sure, let's talk. What can we do? So that's really incredible to see the growth and the passion that all of you guys bring and the contributions you have made to this community. Um, so, what are the foundations? What are the building blocks that we're trying to bring into this community and into this space? I attend a lot of group sessions. I'm part of some really incredible groups, and I also attend a lot of trainings. And I promise you, I don't know, give me a thumbs up if this resonates with any of you guys. I can promise you that the things that I learned in the groups, in the spaces that I shared with other professionals, I remember those things, and I think I have benefited more from them over the course of the year than I have from individual trainings that I've attended. Because when I attend individual trainings, you tend to be there for one session, you kind of read all the slides, and then you do the quiz and you forget about it, or you integrate a few different things. But the depth of learning that comes from being in these professional communities, learning from people, different perspectives, experiences, just the wealth that you learn from that, it really changes not just your skills, but fundamentally your identity, your mindset, the way you approach things. And so for me, what I realize is that true learning, we know as human beings, true learning is relational. It happens in that space of communication, of connection. And so that kind of created the foundation of what we want this community space to be. And so our community shares four basic principles, right? The first thing is that we want this community, these trainings to be very practical. I don't know if any of you guys have seen some of the courses people do on AI. It's all like high level, broad stuff. It's kind of technical things. And honestly, at the end of the day, it's good to learn. You need to have that context and that insight, but it doesn't really help me as a practitioner to use AI on a day-to-day basis. So we wanted to make sure that the content that we share One, it helps us to obviously have the big picture, but we really want it to be something practical that you can use. Two, we want it to be easy to follow. Because the reason most of us are here is because this is not a strength of ours. This is not something that comes easy to us, right? Or it's something that we don't have the time to invest into. If we had more time, we could have learned more, but we want something, a space that, gives things to us in a manner that's easy for us. It's low burden. We can incorporate it into our work, right? It's not, sometimes you attend some of these courses and it's so intense or so, in depth. And, I think you guys have noticed sometimes even our workshop, sometimes it's like really advanced and sometimes it's like really basic. And I'm like, I've already heard this 4 times. And so it's very hard to match these different levels, right? So what we want is we want to really make sure that the content is easy to follow, no matter what level you're at, and that you find benefit at it for your specific needs. That's the second principle and foundation for our community. The third one is that all of our work is embedded in an ethical background because we are health practitioners from the get-go. And what that means is that when we offer courses, talks, trainings, and events, all of these are offered already built into the healthcare professional framework. That we understand what are the responsibilities, what are the roles, what are the requirements as healthcare professionals to incorporate these technologies into our work. Because we can attend many trainings, and there's some really amazing trainings out there that teach us how to use AI. And they teach it even better than I ever could. But what we want to do is we want to make sure that you don't need to be worried about the information that you receive, whether this is something that you can use, whether this is something that's safe to use, where are the boundaries, where are the lines, where are the limits, and these kinds of things. So we want to try and build that in from the ground up, that everything you get through here, is safe for you as a healthcare professional to use. And the last thing, like I spoke about, is that this community, this space is community driven. My dad used to always say, sometimes who you know is more important than what you know. Because one person can never know everything. One person cannot ever teach everything. And I think you guys, this last year has been a testament from that, the amount of different speakers we've had in the groups and the wealth of experience and backgrounds and perspectives they've brought is something that no one person could have ever shared. And the most amazing thing about, for me, of being part of this group has been seeing everybody's contributions to the group, creating that space, that conversation, sharing their background, their perspectives, their experience, their questions, and their learnings. And being that, we really create what I asked right at the beginning. We create a space for conversation and for connection and for learning through that. So these are the very foundation and building blocks of our community. And I mean, let me ask you, I mean, give me a thumbs up if this sounds like something that resonates with you. How does it sound to be in a space where you receive information that's practical? It's easy to follow. You don't have to go running and learn extra things. You can implement it directly. You know it's ethical and you know that it's aligned with where you are, what your needs are, and you're sharing the space with others who are sharing the same needs as you, right? So that it creates a space where you feel safe, where you feel like you can participate, where you feel like you can learn without worrying in these kinds of spaces. Beautiful. Thank you so much for that. Okay. So, very excited. Let's go. First step. I want everybody to scan this QR code again, and I'm going to pop in the chat the link if my computer doesn't freeze on me again. Okay, so I popped the link in the chat, or if you want to scan this QR code, I want everybody to click the link or the QR code because now we're going to go into creating our account on the new platform. So everybody scan QR code, click the link. When
Sorry,
you,
Monique,
yeah.
is it easy to do on your phone?
Yeah, you can do it on your phone as well. You can do it on your
Thanks.
laptop as well. Both are perfectly fine. When you click on the link, you will receive you will see this basically a sign up page where you can create an email address, name, and password. Okay, and this is the first big thing for our community because everybody who joins now has to create an account. So no longer are we going to have 100 spam messages at midnight. That we have to then go and delete through one by one. Go ahead, Kirsten.
Sorry, Minya, when I clicked on the link, it doesn't
Yeah.
take it to the account, but it
Uh,
does if I on the
what does it show you?
so it just goes to your main, sorry, let me find it, okay? It just goes to the AICP. Or must I just
Okay.
click on start here?
Yeah, yeah. So you probably already have a Circle account, Kristen?
Do I?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, so for you it'll take you straight in because you've already got an account with Circle.
Okay.
Yeah. So for anyone who doesn't have an account, it will take them here. So just take out those that want to scan the QR code. You can just take out your camera and point it at the QR code and it will show you and it will scan it, or just click on the link in the chat. Is that working for everyone? Anyone running into any issues? Beautiful. So you'll see this and you're going to create an account. So what is the reason behind this, right? Is that we started to notice that we were running into a few issues on the WhatsApp group. Okay. The first thing, obviously, we're getting close to reaching our cap in terms of participants, which is 1,000 participants in the group before it gets full. So that was one of the issues. And the second thing is, I'm sure you guys know that the AI group was originally part of a larger community, the impact community. And the impact community is undergoing a lot of changes. And we've also grown to the extent where we need to create our own space dedicated to the group itself. And so what we noticed is we were running into a few different issues, is that we needed a space that was safe and reliable for us, that people felt that they could share, that there weren't spammers and all of these things. Um, okay, I see you're having a little bit of an issue with the this thing. I think if you just click on the left on the pen icon, it'll give you the option to switch off your pen. Okay, let me just erase that so it's not so distracting. So that was the first thing that we needed, a safe and reliable space for the community. The second thing we needed is we needed somewhere where we could host all our tools, resources, templates, these kinds of things. I don't know if any of you guys, somebody shares a resource or says there's a resource and now you're searching through the chat, where did they post this? Or somebody's like, I've got this here, and everyone's just dropping the email address, send it to me, please, send it to me, please. So now we're going to have a single space where it's going to host all of these resources for you in a very organized manner so that you have access to it at any stage. The third thing is we need a space where we can host our workshops, our events, our ongoing trainings and things like that. I don't know how many of you guys have been driven mad looking for emails. Where's the sign up link? Why is this button not connecting? Did I register? Did my registration go through? Sounds familiar? So now we're going to have all of that in this one platform as well. And this is going to be just, it's an alternative rather than having to go onto WhatsApp and Facebook with 101 other things. This is going to be a dedicated, focused space designed for you to learn, for you to connect, for everything about AI and practice and practice, right? So anytime you have anything to do with AI, you can just pop in right over here. Okay, so now let me show you. I think everybody should be connected into the platform. Is anyone having any issues? Everyone should see something like this if you're on your website, if you're on your computer. Right. So this is our new home. Welcome to the AICP home space. Okay. So after this session, I'm going to ask you all very basically, the way this works is here on the left, we have a list of spaces, right? And each space contains its own things. And we'll go through some of them just to demonstrate what it's all about, right? But after today's session, what I want you all to do is if you click here on welcome checklist, it'll take you through a short checklist that will just orient you to the platform. It will show you a few of the important settings. It will help you to explore the different spaces. So after today's session, I want you to go on welcome checklist and just go through it and complete it. That will help to orient you, right? But now let's introduce some of the spaces in this community and what exactly we are building here. Okay. So the first one I want to show you guys is the community lounge. So the community lounge is basically our WhatsApp group, but better. This is going to be the space where we do all of our discussions, conversations, ask questions, share things, share resources, post interesting things, all the conversations that we've been having on WhatsApp. We're going to have it exactly the same over here, except more powerful, more tools, more things that you can do. Right? So this is our community lounge. It's going to be the base, the hub of our entire platform. Every time you log in, you're going to come to the community lounge. Okay. Then we've got our resource vault. This is the very exciting one. This is what everybody's been waiting for. Our resource vault is where we're storing all of the resources that we are making available to the community. So these are things like templates, forms, guides, tools, all of these things that are available, right? So for example, here we've got the popular aligned consent form. We've got the Heidi explainers and consent form. We've got a prompting guide if you want to just touch up on your prompting skills. Um, we've got a strategic supervision prompt, which I love. It's been incredibly helpful to me. We've got like a guide on what to do when clients bring AI into the room. How can you have conversations about that? So all of these resources are available in the resource guide for free, in the resource hub vault for free. So you just click on any of the links. It'll have all the instructions there. It'll have all the resources available for you, and you can access them at any time. And here on the top, we also have some filters where you can kind of choose, right? You can click on, I'm looking for templates. It'll show you your templates. I'm looking for prompts. It will show you different prompts that we have in the guide. So these are all categorized and organized for you. Anytime you're looking for anything, you can come here and find it. And this is not just for me to share. This is going to be for everyone in the community to share. If you're come across something really powerful, some resource, some guide, some template, I forget who it was that shared the Heidi ones on the WhatsApp group. I'm going to just tag them over here, but I added it because they shared it over there. Krista shared some really incredible templates that she uses. I don't think she's with us here today, is she? No. I'm going to ask her to share her posts over here as well. So as the community creates these resources, we're going to add them here into this vault for everyone to make use and benefit of. Okay, so I'm very excited about that. Then we're also going to have the newsroom. So the newsroom is again where myself and others can post all really incredible, things like emerging research, devil AI tools that are being released, ethical and regulations that are being updated, all of the latest information that's curated and is presented right over here. So instead of having to go and look all over, if you want to just keep in touch, and it's going to also be tagged. So if you want to see what's the latest news about regulations, you just click on the regulation tab and any resources, articles people have posted, for example, new SBCSA guidelines, clip 20, I just posted it here. Give it a read through. I love to hear what everybody thinks about the guidelines, what's been interesting, what you feel might be a bit missing. So basically, this will be a home anytime you want to keep up, you want to see what's interesting, new tools being released, guidelines that are coming out, things like that. You just pop into the newsroom and it'll all be here. And then we've also got the event hub. So the event hub is basically our community calendar. All the workshops, trainings, events for next year will all be loaded up on the event hub where you can view them, put them in your diary, and you know exactly when what is happening in the community. So it's going to be things happening, public things, and there'll be specific paid workshops as well. All of that will be listed right over here. So all of this is available. It's basically what we had in WhatsApp plus more, all available completely for free in the community. How exciting is that? Everybody loves that. Okay, beautiful. Any questions so far? All happy. Okay, fantastic. Now, as I said, all of this is completely available to free to any community member. But in order for the community, because there must always be a but, in order for the community to be sustainable, obviously there has to also be some this thing because it takes a lot of effort and resources and time to put all of this together. And so specifically for those people that would like to go further with AI, that would like more out of the community and would like more guidance, more tools, more resources, more skills, we have created a core membership option. So everything I've spoken about so far, is available for those that, they just want to be part of the community, they want some resources, but they're carrying on in their own. Those, for people who want to continue and take it to the next level, we've created a membership. Now, what's in the membership? So if you see here, we've got a section called members only. So I'm going to just walk you guys through that. But the first thing that's in the membership is going to be all of our monthly groups. So I think one of the biggest requests I had this year were people asking me, can we just pay for all the groups in one payment? Because I need to sign up every single month, do a small payment, wait for emails, save dates has been very frustrating. And I never realized also what a big burden and admin it's been on my side to manage all of those groups. So from next year, I know it's a little bit positive and negative. From next year, I think the intention is that the community groups, the monthly groups will only be available now to community members, those who will take out the membership, and they will have access to all the groups for the year. They will also have access to all the recordings of our previous groups. So they will have permanent access to all the groups that we ever have, right? That's part of the membership. Yeah, so that's the first thing that group members will have. Next year, we're going to try and aim for 12 groups, and the groups are credited for 2 CPD points. We will have 24 CPD points provided through the groups. It just depends on HPCSA, because HPCSA is being very difficult at the moment. They've completely changed how they do their CPD applications, and they quite a lot of delays and back and forth and things like that. And one of the big changes they've done is they've also, for going forward, they will no longer accept retroactive CPD points. So what it means is that if we can get the application approved by HPCSA before January, then it will be 12 groups and 24 points. But if there are delays, then we might not be able to accredit the January group. So you will still have the group, it just might not be accredited. Anyway, I'm going on a little bit of a tangent with the HPCSA, but yeah, they being their usual self at the moment. So firstly, members get access to all the groups and all the recordings. The second thing members get access to is the AI lab. So the AI lab is also a discussion space similar to the other one, but this is a discussion space only for members. And what that allows is it allows us to have more detailed and in-depth discussions. Because sometimes, like on the WhatsApp group, conversations get long. Sometimes you end up with 20 messages, or there's a lot of messages going on, and myself or others in the group don't always have a chance to get to all of the messages that people ask. So in the AI lab, this is a space where you can ask things and get in-depth detailed collaboration on those things. For example, this tool, I'm trying to achieve this in my practice. How can we go about it? And myself and others will have a proper discussion. We'll go in, these are different tools. This is how you could apply. These are the things that we can do, and so on. This is a new tool that came out. How do we use this tool? Again, we'll have, so the purpose of this is that it's not just a once-off question, it's ongoing support so that by the end of it, you feel equipped to do the thing that you asked the question about. You know exactly what's happening and you're able to then apply it. It's not just random responses from people that you then have to go and figure out yourself. So this will be part, the AI app will be available to members as well. Then we're going to have video guides. These are coming soon. So these are going to be step-by-step guides on specific AI tools, use cases, applications, and things like that. So for example, I think most of you are already quite familiar with maybe something like Notebook LM, but maybe somebody new comes in and they've heard all these amazing things, but they're not sure how to use Notebook LM. So they can come here and there will be a step-by-step video guide that explains what Notebook LM is, how to use it, and specifically how to use it as healthcare professionals, right? Maybe you've heard about deep research. Maybe you've heard about creating custom GPTs. Maybe you've heard about N8N, all of these different tools. Maybe you've heard about Gamma and Gamma's new agent. So what we're going to do is, obviously this is going to be a process, but we're going to keep adding and keep building on video guides so that anytime there's a tool that you're not sure about, you're trying to figure something out, you can just come here and you'll have a short, not very long, a short guide that just explains everything to you in an easy, practical manner that's tailored to healthcare professionals. And then lastly, we're going to have one of my most exciting things is our custom GPTs. So these are custom GPTs that I have created that have basically been helping me run my practice for the last 2 years. They have been specifically designed to help for specific things for healthcare professionals in the South African context. And now I'm sharing these GPTs and making them available for all of you guys. So these are very different to, for example, if you open up a chat and you put some context and background and say, act like, assume you are so and so, and respond. These contain much bigger instructions, much more detailed, specific instructions. So we've got GPT for finance, for legal questions, for psychology questions, for media-related inquiries, for business-related things. And I've got a very bad habit. I like giving my GPTs personalities. So we'll play it by ear. If people don't like the personalities, I'll see what the feedback is. I can make it more neutral. But I love giving them a bit of personality. But I mean, I really love this. So let me demonstrate like what exactly is a custom GPT and how can you use it, right? So for example, if you click on one of these custom GPTs, there'll be a link here. And if you click on this link, it'll take you directly into ChatGPT to the custom GPT. That's all you have to do. Click on the link and you're there. No other work required. So this is a legal GPT. Let's kind of give it a little bit of a test run, right? So for example, here's a query, legal query. I have a 14-year-old client who discloses daily cannabis use and says his older cousin sells it to him. He refuses parental involvement. What are my legal and ethical duties? Step by step, right? So see what happens now. You'll see that the GPT first starts thinking. It doesn't reply immediately. It starts thinking, it's thinking, it's thinking, it's thinking, and it will tell us. And now it will tell us what we need, what it's thinking about. I'll start with a quick summary of core duties, provide detailed step-by-step approaches, and it's also I'm referencing South African government and justice systems. Now let me search for the information I need. So it's searching justice.org, Knowledge Hub, Medical Professional, gov.za, HVCSA blogs, in Judiciary, Childline, Web of Wenzel. It's searching all of these different resources for the data and the information it needs. Right? Now it's breaking it down for us. What does this situation mean legally and ethically? So the child is 14. So he's legally a child under the Children's Act, and it tells you what the act is so that you can go and reference it and double check yourself. And for those of y'all that work with kids, I'd love to hear, how accurate is this? Does it follow something that y'all might think as well? Daily cannabis habits at 14 is a serious health and developmental risk. It means that the child might be considered as needing of care and protection, especially when linked to substance abuse. An older sibling cousin is selling the cannabis, which is already an offense, as adults may not supply cannabis to children under the Drugs and Drug Trafficking Act, and Cannabis for Private Purposes Act says that it's only for adults. So it's giving you the acts again that you can go and reference where it's getting this information from. For children, the Constitutional Court has been clear. Cannabis use should be handled through care and protection processes. Dealing and supplying to them remains unlawful and serious. What are my duties as a health professional? Duty to confidentiality, but you also have a legal duty to report, right? So this is step by step what you need to do. In the session, you need to check immediate safety. You need to clarify capacity and understanding of the child. You need to re-explain what are the confidentiality and its limits, because that's part of the therapeutics frame that we hold. Assess whether the child meets the criteria of needing care and protection. Try to get buy-in of a safe adult involved. Outside of the session, what are your legal duties, right? Under the Children's Act, these are what you need to do, right? You are likely obligated to report this to Child Protection Services or a designated child protection organization, even if he refuses parental involvement. How to report it? Follow your workplace policy, use appropriate Children's Act reporting form, usually Form 22. You can go and check that it's the right one, and submit it to the required person. Include these details. Keep a record of date and time, risk assessment, exact wording the child used, your attempts to obtain consent, all of these things. What about the cousin? What are my duties there? These are your duties related to the cousin, right? So do you see how I do? I'm not going to go through everything, but basically, here, simple word decision flow. If the child is under 18 and there is daily cannabis use and an adult is supplying and selling the drug, then these are the steps you need to take. Here's a quick checklist for you to follow. These are the sources that you need to consult to verify locally. You need to look at the Cannabis for Private Purposes Act. You need to look at the HPCSA booklets. You need to look at your institutional policies, and you need to look at contacts and forms for child protection services, SAPs, and so on and so forth, right? And if they, in certain instances, it will even tell you that these are red flags where you need to consult a legal professional. These are things that are unclear where you need additional guidance. And then obviously this is for educational review only. This does not constitute formal legal advice. How amazing is that? Brenda, does that follow? If you had to deal with a client like this, would this give you a starting point?
Absolutely, meneer. Absolutely.
Beautiful. Right.
Like my toes are curling. This is so great. Thank you.
Fantastic. And let's do one more just because I absolutely love them. So let's do the finance one, right? Again, we open it. I don't know why my computer keeps freezing up today. Again, you just click on the link and it'll take you directly into ChatGPT to this thing. Let's give an example. Give me a cash flow plan for small psychology practice with inconsistent session attendance and medical aid delays. Sound familiar to anyone? Typical day in the office, right? See, there's the personality. My friend, come sit. Mundo will sort this out for you. So, quick summary. You need a system that predicts cash in, controls your cash out, creates some buffers for delayed medical aid payments and seasonal dips, and automates enough so that you're not juggling admin between sessions. Here's a step-by-step plan. Start off by sit down, start by mapping what are your monthly fixed costs. These are the things you know will not change. Estimate what is your minimum session revenue. Work backwards from that, right? This is how you will estimate it. Map your different income streams. So sit down, write out what are your cash sessions, what are your medical aid sessions, what are your assessments and reports, right? Here's a simple tracking board that you can do. Then it's offering you a structured model. Build a 3-part cash flow model. This is how you do it. This is what a professional would do. Part 1, your operating cash. Part 2, your reserve buffer. Part 3, your tax part. And it will explain what each of these things are and how you can calculate it. How to smooth out and manage your inconsistent medical aid delays. All right. Implement. Okay, this is another whole this thing. We won't turn to the financial advisor for this because we've got enough. As psychologists, we know this inside out. We should know this inside out, rather. And then this is how you could automate certain aspects of that, right? Here's a checklist. These are the things you can do. Very simple, high-level checklist. These are the red flags. Remember I told you sometimes it will tell you red flags. If you're falling behind and you're behind on your tax, speak to accountant. If your medical aid billing starts piling up without reconciliation, you need to escalate the matter, right? If you're unable to pay rent or salary consistently for 2 to 3 months, it means there's something very big is going wrong with your cash flow setup. You need to speak to a consultant, right? Then this one, it even gives you an example. Let's say this is how your thing is structured. These are your inflows. This is how you will allocate and pay it up, right? And again, this is only for educational purposes. You need to verify it locally. How incredibly helpful is that as a single person running practice to figure these things out? PIA claims, writing up a PIA booklet, it will help you. Tax submissions, provisional tax, it will guide you on what you need to do. Managing ethical consent queries with kids, it will give you the resources to know where to start and what you need to do. Trying to create a content calendar or write a blog post, it will help you to support, it will help and support you with that. So these are our custom GPTs that have been designed specifically for healthcare professionals in AI. They are not perfect. They are not a replacement for professional support. They're just there to give you a leg up, to give you a starting point, right? What's our time looking like? Okay, so I'll just say the last thing is the psychology one. OpenAI has been updating a lot of their safeguards and things like that. So it's not possible anymore for me to share the psychology GPT with you guys because of the nature of how it was trained. So instead, what I've done is I've given you guys the instructions themselves. So you can go into your ChatGPT and create a custom AI, a custom GPT, and paste the instructions in to make use of this model. Sometimes it'll work. Sometimes it'll tell you that, you know what, this crosses the new boundaries we've set, so you can't do it. In that case, you just ask it to update the instructions to make it more acceptable, right? So that's the only difficult one. Anyway, yeah, so custom GPTs. And then the last thing that members get is that they also will be getting a discount towards certain workshops and trainings that we run throughout the year. So we are planning a lot of future CPD courses and things like that. Things like, how to use things like AIEO, so how to optimize your website and your practice to show up in AI results. We want to do a workshop on AI agents and automation for people that want it. We want to do a workshop on admin training for staff in clinics and things like that, how they can use AI ethically. We also will do, because there's been so many requests, we'll also do a few adjacent trainings, things like how to transition to virtual practice, how to use AI for practice branding and management, and these kinds of things. So we're going to be running these courses over and above throughout the year. As a member, you also get a discount towards these courses. So some of these courses will be hosted within our community. Some of these courses we'll do in collaboration with other specialists. So for that reason, it's we can only offer a discount towards them, right? So our membership, how does it work? So like we said, for the moment, because of the system itself, Circle, and our payment solution, we can only offer a yearly membership. At this stage, we're not able to offer a monthly membership, not because we don't want to, but just because the way the system is structured, it's very difficult to offer a monthly membership. So we are offering a yearly membership for those that would like more resources. This membership is going to be 200 Rand a month, charged yearly. So it'll be 2,400 Rand for the year. And it includes, like I said, all of our monthly groups, 24 CVD points for the year, all the recordings for the previous groups, the AI lab, the video step-by-step walkthroughs, the custom GPTs, and the discounts towards our workshops and trainings, right? Because it's Black Friday and everyone's in shopping mode and everyone is expecting discounts. I said to the end of the month, but we meeting now on the 29th. So let's say I'll communicate exact dates, but let's say till the first week of December. So the 7th of December, we are offering 2 months free for people that sign up. So you will get the entire year next year for 2,000 Rand. So the way that if you would like to sign up, you just click on the link here. It'll take you to a payment page. You pay with the credit card, and then you send us an email with the full name, your email address, your registration category, and your registration number. Once we verified it, we will then grant you access on the Circle platform, and within 24 to 48 business hours, 48 hours, you will have access to all of the member stuff, right, that we discussed earlier. Like I said, this is an optional thing for those that would like to support the community and those that would like to receive more out of the community. They want more, they want to learn more, and they want to gain access to more tools and things like that. For everyone else, all of this that we spoke about right here, the community lounge, newsroom, resource vault, all of this is provided for free to anyone who wants to join the community, any healthcare professionals that want to join the community. The membership, optional, extra for those that want more and want to support the community. Okay, so I think we're coming towards the end of the session. I know I've kept you all for long and I did a lot of talking. Are there any questions from you guys' side? Anyone struggling to get onto the platform? Sorry, and I forgot one last thing, very, very important thing. If you scroll right down here to the bottom, you'll see 2 options. One for download the Android app, download the iOS app. Whatever your phone is, please click on the option that's applicable, or just go onto your mobile store, your app store, and search for Circle. It's called Circle, and it's by, let me just click, let me open it, and you'll see here. It'll show you like this here. It's called Circle by Circle Co. Inc. This is the logo. Please download the app. The app is free to download. And when you log in with the same details that you created your account, the exact same details. And what it'll do is you will have this entire thing on your phone. we have our own app, essentially. So you can have the chat because I know it's quite a ask to shift from WhatsApp, which is so easy, onto a new platform. And so by doing this, we're going to have this app. It makes it very simple because you can just open the app and you can instantly chat and you can instantly access all the recordings and resources and everything like that without having to go into a browser or anything like that. Okay, so please make sure that you download the app, and at the end, after the session, make sure you complete this welcome checklist. Go ahead, Margot.
Thanks so much, Mania. This actually looks so exciting. And I've already downloaded the app onto my phone. So, and it was very easy. So, so happy with that. I just wanted to ask you about the CPD aspect, if that's okay. Um, so would it be possible do you have to attend the CPD live, or will it be possible to get your points through a recording? Question one.
Okay, so I'm working on that. For the moment, you have to attend live in order to get the points. And the reason for that is it's to do with the platform that we have. In order to do a on-demand one, there's certain specific things that we will require. And it would require us to upgrade to an even higher cost of the platform. If there is a lot of interest and people do sign up membership and we can afford it, then we will do the upgrade and then we will be able to host uh, apply for our monthly groups to be on demand. And then you will be able to do it at any stage. But for the moment, just because of the technical side of things, it's we're not able to do it on demand right now. Because for the moment, we still have to, those that attend have to enter their details in an Excel form, which we then submit. So we are working on it, and hopefully, I'm trying to figure out a workaround. If I manage to get it sometime in the next few months, I'll try and make the rest of the groups on demand. But for the moment, it's going to be live. CPD points will be live only, but the recording will be available for members forever.
Oh, great. Thanks. And then the next question was,
Sorry,
do you
just I just want to
yeah,
interrupt, Margot. And the advantage of that, because it's not all bad news, the advantage of that is there's no quiz to do. So you
yeah,
don't need
that's
to
true.
go back and hit multiple choice anything. You just,
True.
in the recording, you just enter your HPCSA number and done, your points are submitted for you. So you don't
Oh,
have to remember anything beyond that. Okay, sorry, your second question.
thanks. And also, as you say, the recordings will be there to check afterwards, which is great. Do you have a day and a time that you're going to want to do the workshops or the webinars on?
So the
Um,
monthly group will stick to our Tuesday evening session.
oh,
I haven't heard too much negative feedback on that. I think most people were comfortable with that. But I tried to find a spot that's kind of like in between and doesn't touch on any other things, which is why we ended up with a bit of a weird date on a Tuesday afternoon. But it seems that a lot of people then can attend at that time. So that is the intention to continue on the Tuesday evening slot, 6 o'clock. Yeah. Do you have a
okay.
different date that you would prefer or you would suggest?
Um, Maybe could you ask the community, because that clashes with another commitment that I have, another supervision commitment. So maybe it might be useful to send out a poll, I don't know, and see for next year what works best for people. That was why I couldn't attend a lot this year, because of the clash. So
Yeah.
let's see. Let's see.
I'll make a
Thanks.
note of it and a little later I'll send a poll out and just see what the feedback is.
Thanks. But great, Mania. Thank you for all your hard work on this. It's looking amazing.
Thank you. I'm so excited. It's fantastic and I can't wait to. It feels like a new home with everything
Yes,
together for us.
yes. Well done.
Any-
Well done. Brilliant.
Thank you so much. That means it means a lot to me. Any other questions? Anyone struggling with signing up? Is everybody now signed up? They're on the platform. They're able to download the app. Any questions about how to use the platform, or is everyone happy with that? All good? Okay. Fantastic. Thanks so much. Like I said, the membership is a 12-month membership. So when you sign up, your membership will continue. You'll have access to everything so if you sign up, for example, today, you'll have access until the end of November next month when you then renew. If you sign up at the start of December, you'll still have access till the end of December next year, provided you choose to renew. Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much, everybody. It was so lovely to share the space with you guys. And thank you for sharing your Saturday morning with me. I'll leave you all to get back to enjoying the rest of the day. And looking forward to seeing you all on the platform. All the best then. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you, Munir.
Thank you.